right? Well, you notice most contracts, they'll say it's this much for this many years with this much guarantee. With his, it didn't come out like that. With Aaron Banks's, it didn't. Why did it not come out with the guarantee? What's that tell you? Probably less guarantee, more overall money. That's what it's feeling like on the surface. When Wildy pointed that out earlier, I was like, because we were trying to decipher it last night. You guys remember we were, what exactly does that mean? How much would the guarantee be? Someone had reported it was like 90% guarantee with the number they had attached. And of course, we quickly debunked. There's no reason to believe that to be true because the way the tweet was worded, I think they got a little confused. But I'm interested to see, Jacob, how that unfolds, because if it is mostly salary and less guarantee, guess what that gives you the ability to do? It may look like a huge contract on the surface, but you get in the second and third year, you can now convert base salary to signing bonus, and you can give it a pay cut, but you're giving them more guaranteed money as you kind of pay as you go. And I think theoretically speaking, it'll be like the Hobbs deal where you can probably get out of it after a year or two if you need to.
The reason I ask, and I quote it that way or phrase it that way, is because I'm going to quote a tweet from somebody that is a professional. He does this for a living. Mr. Peter Bukowski said that we still don't have the Aaron Banks signing bonus figures, which is how you know that contract is going to be so fake.
Mm-hmm.
That's the tweet. So I hate to give him a little bit of credit, but like
somebody give him a round of applause. That's rare, right?
Is that legitimate to say? And I'm honestly not even trying to throw shade on him, but is
it is. It's definitely legit. It's basically what we just said.
Just basically saying we fell in love with a headline or got mad at a headline because that was probably what the agents were like. We got to have it say that we got him for, what is it, $4 million, 77.
Yep. No, you're spot on there, man. And again, this is what we're talking about. If we show what was actually reported according to Spot Track here, this is Aaron Banks and what it shows on the Spot Track site. And this is what it says. Aaron Banks signed a 4-year, $77 million contract with the Green Bay Packers, including an average annual salary of $19.2 million. Banks will earn while carrying a cap hit of, and of course it just, they got the period. So if we were to go back to the Hobbs one, for example, right now, I won't go back on screen here, but I'll just read it to you so you can see how different it is. Again, read the Aaron Banks part right there if you can read it, Jacob. That Aaron Banks signed a 4-year. Read that one time, and then I'll read the Hobbs.
Aaron Banks signed a 4-year, $77 million contract with the Green Bay Packers, including an average annual salary of $19,250,000 in 2025. Banks will earn while carrying a cap hit of ...
Right. This is Nate Hobbs's. Nate Hobbs signed a 4-year, $48 million contract with the Green Bay Packers, including $16 million in signing bonus, $16 million guaranteed, and an average annual salary of $12 million. In 2025, Hobbs will earn a base salary of $1.2 and a signing bonus of $16 million, a workout bonus of $400K. There is no mention of the bonus whatsoever.
Yeah.
Now, I have a hard time believing, and I don't think Bukowski or anyone else is saying this, I have a hard time believing that the whole thing, there's no guaranteed money at all. That's silly if they sign that contract. But it sounds like, again, who put the information out? The team don't want to put that information out no sooner than they need to. It's the agency. So if the agency had a number that looked good for them in terms of signing bonus and guarantees, boy, they would have led with that. You know what I mean, Emilio? They lead with it all the time. So.
No, that's it. That's the sticker that they're going to put on it to bring you into the store. But little did they know I was still going to spend over $300 and get 6 months no interest. Come on now. I mean, that's an easy decision. That's not a problem.
Tim, that's same as cash, man. You know these stores too. As soon as people walk to the register and say, "You got that same as cash deal," they're like,
"Could be a crackhead. You got hold to the wrong stuff."
Every time. Or they say this.
Here's the guy.
Yeah. So, all right. So we're good on the Aaron Banks contract, right? Jacob, I'm glad you brought that up because it's very important, man, for sure. Let's see. We had a couple other things I wanted to hit on. We probably won't go too long tonight. We were kind of talking about the DBs and obviously Eric Stokes leaving. I thought this was awesome. Xavier McKinney on Twitter, I think it was today or yesterday. You guys see this?
Yes.
Tweeted out, you thought last year was impressive. Okay, bet. Watch this. You ain't seen Poopy yet.
Oh, yeah. That was worth a retweet today for sure.
Definitely.
Oh, I'm sorry. A repost.
That's right, Tim. Get it right, buddy.
Get it right.
Yeah, so I love the fact that Xavier McKinney's a leader in that room. And again, you never know, man. Jai might be back. If here's the deal.
If Jai's back, our secondary is scary or no?
I think so. Like seriously, if
Right.
if Jai is back and he's like rejuvenated and it's like everything's behind us, he's completely healthy, all that. You get the Jai of 3 years ago, and he plays.
Took it down.
Right, you got him on one side. You probably got Nate Hobbs on the other. You got Javon Bullard and Keyshawn Nixon battling it out for the slot corner spot. Right, you got Carrington Valentine who's chomping at the bit to get on the field too. Right, there's depth. I think there's talent. There's depth. Behind them, you got Xavier McKinney and Evan Williams. Oh, by the way, we found out Zane Anderson is a real person. He's waiting back there. You got Katano Ladapo. Hell, who knows, boys? Maybe Malachi Starks drops and Goody says, you know what? I'll piss the fan base off even further. Let's go get Malachi Starks in the first round.
Wow.
Just here to tell you, Pack is back.
You heard it from a fan right here, baby. You know that's my dude.
Outside of a 3-tech, though, my sleeper, like the guy I'm kind of hoping they go with is Jahad Campbell out of Bama, man. Every time I see his name on the board, I'm like, man.
Goody's not scared to take a linebacker in the first.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen it before.
And the Packers have met with him. As a matter of fact, he is the 5th highest graded player on our board that Goody has met with. Number one is James Pierce Jr., edge out of Tennessee. Number 2 is Colston Loveland, tight end out of Michigan. Kenneth Grant, 3-tech out of Michigan. And Jahdae Barron, versatile corner out of Texas. And then, of course, you've got our boy Jahad Campbell there in the 22 spot. I'm just saying, man, now that it changes everything that they sign Aaron Banks. It really does. And like you guys were saying, I know Tim's mentioned it multiple times, Jacob has. If somebody, Emilio, you're going to love this. If Mimbo is sitting there at 22 somehow, somewhere, run the card up there. And let's go on. Let's throw him in at tight end. You know what I mean?
Don't play those games with me. We're going we're going heavy package.
71 bacon, baby, just like
Bro, hey, you know what's insane is that Membo at whatever he is, like 6'6", 315, he ran faster than like 12% of the tight ends at the combines.
What do you run, a 5.1?
No, he ran like a 5'1". I think it was a 5.01.
Like
flat.
a 5.1 flat. Like that's crazy. He was cooking.
And since we're kind of talking tight end, let's hit this real quick. We mentioned that the Packers met with Colston Loveland, right? Mm-hmm. He on our board is sitting in the 15 spot. I would imagine that Goody met with him in case he's there at 23. That's one of those guys that he might be interested in, right? And I know people kind of scoff at that, and people really didn't understand why the Raiders went with Brock Bowers last year when they had Michael Mayer. Hey, Brock Bowers, I mean, you see what did he end up with? It was something crazy. Like he was almost at record-setting numbers. This is like
I think it was
stuff. Yeah,
record-setting rookie numbers, I believe.
Yeah, and what's crazy is I did a little study on Tucker Kraft, and if you gave Tucker Kraft the same amount of targets that Brock Bowers did at the rate and pace he was going, if he'd have kept that up, he would have been right there with him. Matter of fact, I think he would have surpassed him in yards if I remember correctly. Definitely touchdowns. But anyway, here is a cool little chart from Football Insights. They do an excellent job with these type of things. So, you'll notice. I was going to say, like what you're looking for, and I'll try to explain it for everybody on the pod. It's showing man coverage on the left, zone coverage on the right. You got targets, rating, first down route ran, I believe is what that is. Yeah. And then I'm trying to think, what was the YPRR? I think it was
yards per route run.
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't have the actual team thing that Jake deciphered for us that night. That's great. I was wondering why it was even on there, to be honest with you. But yeah, what you're looking for is a lot of green, obviously, and less red. Ty Warren, hands down, is your best tight end, right? But look, Harold Fannin Jr., look at that.
There's a guy.
Seriously. Look at Colston Loveland. There's only 2 blocks that's in the red, and one is just a light shade of pink, right? And then, of course, like Jacob said, his dude, look at Gadsden down there. There's just 2 that are in the light pink. Other than that, pretty steady across the board. I'm just saying, man, yeah, don't be surprised if Goody pulls the trigger on another tight end and we try to find the next Tucker Kraft and really press into 12 personnel. That's another way you can compensate for not having Christian Watson until at least November, you know?
Yeah.
Anything? Go ahead.
No, sorry, just Dan Mullins got a super chat right here. He says,
Read it.
how concerned are you that Morgan can't make it at a pro level? Oof.
I'm not concerned at all. Let me put it this way. I have no more concern than I do confidence. Like that, this blows my mind when people, and this isn't a shot at you or anyone specifically, Dan, but I've seen a lot of folks say Jordan Morgan was a bust already. I'm going, how can we say he's a bust already? Like, he was competing for the starting right guard spot as a rookie, and he got hurt, and he hurt his shoulder in camp. It wasn't like he hurt his shoulder, then he hurt his hip, then he hurt his knee. It wasn't like that. It was like it was an injury he tried to play through all year long. It finally caught up with him, and they shut it down, right, with the shoulder injury. I have just as much confidence that he's going to be a good player as I would have, any worry that he wouldn't be. Does that make sense, guys? Like, does anybody else disagree with that? Did they see something on tape that maybe I missed to say, I don't know if Jordan Morgan's going to be it? Because when he was on the field, he looked good to me. He didn't. Yep. It wasn't like, oh no, this dude can't play football. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree. This isn't, Caleb Jones or anything all over again. So I'm not at all concerned. Now, if we see, something different this year with him being as close to healthy as possible, then
right,
that conversation. But we haven't, up till this point, I don't think we've seen anything to lead us to believe that.
Right. And my question to the folks that say that, and I'm not trying to be like a smart aleck or anything, I'm genuinely asking, what didn't you like about his game? And I haven't found anybody to tell me specifically. And even if they do, it's okay, cool. Well, we didn't see a whole lot of snaps from him either, right? So it's what are we basing that off of? I think Cooper DeJean fuels that a lot with Packer fans personally.
Not mad at all. I mean, that Jordan Morgan. And you'd got to be at that point more mad at Marshawn Lloyd because he tried to come back multiple times, kept getting injured. Right. That sort of stuff. I mean, you're asking Jordan Morgan, who played left tackle his whole life, wherever in Arizona, come over, play right guard. Not that that's a problem. But if I lost confidence in Morgan, there's no shot. I mean, like, I still have confidence in Travis Glover. So you're telling me I lost confidence in Jordan Morgan right now? Like, it's just not, you know what I'm saying? You got to give him 2 years at least, three ideally, 2 at least. It's
well, just, Emilio, don't you know JJ McCarthy? He's a bust.
Oh, for sure.
The Vikings, the Vikings just traded away like multiple, contingency players that would maybe help him. But you know what? He didn't play that first year. He's a bust.
And the same would be true if you flipped it around. If a guy came out and was a monster his rookie year and then fell off a little bit, sophomore slump, calling him a bust would be asinine. That would be so foolish because he could be an all-pro in year 3 and then great in the 80s the rest of his career. You've got to be patient when you evaluate guys especially at the NFL level, because everybody's good. I don't care what anyone says, right? It's been said numerous times. There are no bad players in the National Football League. There's great and there's good,
And I think that is one of the reasons why I have a lot of condensed hopes for Hobbs, because that dude came onto the field that rookie year, played 16 games and had that 80 whatever it was grade, like Clayton talked about, a legit rookie getting thrust into it, playing I think it was like 800 snaps, and then his grades fell off. What happened? He couldn't stay healthy. And again, that's not saying that God can't play football. It's saying he's got some injury issues. Let's see if we can work through that. We've dealt with it for years. Remember when there was the Christian Watson hamstring, this and that hamstring, this and that, OTAs, can't do this, can't stay healthy, this and that. It's a football league, guys, full of 350-pound men that can run under a sub 540. People are going to get hurt. It's going to happen. It's whether or not you can go through the regimen of getting back on your feet and then staying healthy. It's going to come in spurts, man.
And we also forget the coaching changes that took place while he was there too.
Exactly. And scheme change.
2021
quarterbacks or the whole team was in chaos.
If I remember correctly, in 2021, which was his rookie year, right? His rookie year, Hobbs' rookie year in 2021, guess who the head coach was? It was John Gruden and then Rich Bisaccia. So I'm just saying, after that, his grades go down, right? Well, who'd they hire? Josh McDaniel. The wheels fell off that thing real quick. Then it was Antonio Pierce, right? So who knows, man? You come back to Green Bay, maybe we get that guy that's going to grade out in the 70s and 80s. If that's the case, guess what that is, guys? That's Jair Alexander level play. It is. I mean, from a PFF standpoint, anyway.
Right.
You know? So
At a price
I'm not
tag, you
expecting that at $5 million. I'm not expecting that, but
Right.
that's the ceiling. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying at a price tag you like if you get that kind of job play. But going back to Morgan, now he's going to get a full off season. I mean, that shoulder could have been acting up because he's trying to rep out 40 reps at 225 because he's been trying to get ready for the draft. Like, I need to get my numbers up for the combine and all that. I'm sitting over here just pumping my shoulder. Give me a little bit to recover. Now he's got a full off season regimen with the Packers, all that. I mean, it's going to be a different year.
Yeah, Dan Mullen, thank you so much for the super chat, bud. We appreciate you. Respect Orange just says, please have a cornerback draft like we did safeties last year. And that's the thing. If Ja returns, I feel like you still need at least one corner. So you're going to pull the trigger on a corner. If Ja's gone, I think they pull the trigger on 2 corners in this draft at a minimum.
Have we done that yet? Have we done it all? We've done an all corner draft. Is that what he's asking?
No,
I think he's saying blow it like us.
No. He's saying
scatter
Greg
shot.
Poole.
Yeah,
Okay.
three, four rounds in range. Yeah.
Tim went all corner draft.
He
He
Yeah.
just made that up. I love it.
Yeah.
Get ready to go.
Tim's running a 3-2-6.
Tim literally did look like that meme. He's like,
Oh, he got excited.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm with you though. Respect Orange.
You got hold to the wrong stuff.
Right. Yeah, so if they can hit on corner and if they end up having to take guys gone, imagine that. Imagine in the first or second round you go corner. If it's a Jahdae Barron, a versatile corner, oh my God! All of a sudden your secondary is set for the next 4 or 5 years. You know.
If you say mock draft 3 times in the podcast, Jake Shavink just appears in the chat.
Here's a guy.
I
He really
swear.
does. He says we got to do the all defensive line mock.
That would be fun. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I see mock drafts in our future. Many of them coming up. As soon as free agency starts to wind down, we'll obviously shift focus back to the draft and get back into all that. 2-0 for this says Aaron Rodgers didn't play his first year. Clearly, he was a bust. There you go. Some people.
My knee.
I like this, Mr. Dan. Good to see you, buddy. He says the Vikings now have 4 picks. Is that true?
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
I'm not a mathematician. Yeah, that's wild if they've only got 4 picks and they don't have a quarterback, right?
Right.
Maybe they got J.J. McCarthy if his arm's still attached. I don't know if it is or not. But that dude, boy, you talk about a lot of pressure on him with what they've done in free agency, right?
They're pulling one out of the Bears book from last year. Let's go in with 4 picks, say that we have the best team that a rookie quarterback's ever gone into, get them blown up on the line, and have to spend in free agency the next year and say, all right, we still have the best thing that a rookie or first-year quarterback's ever gone into. So,
And Minnesota would have to draft a punter, right?
oh, it's coming, Tim. It's coming. 4th round.
Yeah. So just to confirm, Minnesota picks 24th overall, 97th overall, 140th, and then 161. That's all they got.
Oh, we're gonna give him some.
Trade back into it like the Bears did last year. Let's trade back into the draft, give up more capital so we can dive back in to make it a 5th pick.
It's insanity, man. Absolute insanity. Chris Freeman said the Bears already claiming their 32 straight or 32nd straight off-season championship. Too bad for them. The regular season starts. Happens every year, man.
Playoffs.
I do like what they did this year, though. I think they took a different approach this year, and it'll probably pay off for them a little bit. But here's the big thing: is Caleb Williams. Here's what I want to say. Put it on the ticker. Put me on the record right now.
Clip it.
If Caleb Williams comes out this year with this revamped offensive line, and he's still holding the ball for 7 seconds and getting sacked more than any quarterback, you know, what was the stat last year? I think he got sacked more than any quarterback. At least one point in the season, he had been sacked more than any quarterback holding the ball for more than 4.5 seconds. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And you would turn on the tape and you didn't look up and go, oh, man, the offensive line isn't holding up. It's literally one read. Oh, no, I need to run around rather than get to the second read and get the ball out. That's what you've seen a lot of last year. So I'm just saying, Caleb Williams, Mr. Elite, Mr. What was it they say, generational talent, right? We're going to find out this year, are we not? This is the year where we go, okay, yeah, he can play or he can't. I'm excited to see what he can do with this revamped offensive line around him. Because if he continues to hold on to that ball like he did at USC and make stupid decisions like that, and you look at the touchdown to interception ratio and it's very, very deceiving. You go, oh, man, he had a good year as a rookie. No. how many times he took his team out of field goal position, out of field goal range. He killed drives by taking a sack on 2nd and 7, and they lose, 8 yards. And now all of a sudden it's, let's try to gain a few and punt this thing away.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they end up finishing with more punt yards than pass.
Yeah, I was just going to say in the punter,
it was close.
More yards than you.
Yeah. A little bit more news here, and we're going to hit the Patreon group real quick. I just want to say this. Our good buddy Rob Westerman put this tweet out earlier. I want to run it by you guys in case I was missing something, in case you guys maybe disagreed with me. He said, A.J. Dillon has been fully cleared by multiple doctors and is ready to return to football in 2025. A.J.'s on the 26th. Should the Packers look at bringing him back for this upcoming season? Obviously, it'd be a deal much like that kind of weird loophole they used last year. I don't think the market's going to be crazy for him. It'd probably be a minimum type deal. Our running back room right now is obviously Josh Jacobs. It's Emmanuel Wilson. It's Marshawn Lloyd. And then it's Chris Brooks, right? So he's going to be battling Chris Brooks is who he'd be battling, I would imagine. What do you guys think about A.J. Dillon? Or are you just ready to turn the page on it? What's your all's take on that?
Turn the page.
Okay, Bob Seger.
Let's click that.
We've I knew we'd have a little bit of differing opinions on this. I'm in the same boat, Jacob. Don't get me wrong. I think the ship has definitely sailed, and clearly we have a lot of depth at the running back position. I agree with you, Clayton. I don't know how much of a market there is for him, but he's 26. I mean, even in running back years, that's not that old. So I think there's a chance he could play somewhere. I would not be surprised if maybe the Packers brought him into camp and, gave him a crack at it, just to see, what could in theory happen. But at best, he'd be a 3rd or 4th on your depth chart. Running back for sure.
I definitely would not take any reps away from Marshawn Lloyd for him.
Right.
I'm simply looking at it like, would it be worth it to have him? You're probably going to carry a running back on the practice squad anyway, right? Yeah. Is it going to be Chris Brooks and or A.J. Dillon type thing?
Yep.
You know how the NFL season is, Amelia. Like you're going to go through running backs, man. It's going to happen.
To be honest, I know everyone's passed, and I get that. And it's John Deere Green. I know. So I would just say I'd bring him in for the 90, the 95 or whatever, see how he does and, see if he still really wants to play. Right. And if maybe you get that reignite, you get him on a cheap. But yeah, I would more or less put him on the practice squad till, you might have bumps and bruises. You might have to pull him up. You get 3 shots at it.
Dude.
And that's what I see right here. I think you highlighted this, didn't you, Jacob? Ron Samuel's comment where he said, bringing him in, what's it going to hurt to bring him into camp, right? Can't hurt to bring him into camp. And who knows, you look up and go, holy cow, this is the dude we drafted, right? Could happen.
I mean, San Francisco's got a wide open camp. There's nobody on that football team.
That's bad.
Yeah, San Francisco, but even like Jay's saying, Steelers, that could be a good fit. They got Warren, and then imagine if Rodgers goes there. Shavink brings up a good point. Guys like Harbaugh and Greg Roman would love him, a battering ram. Again, that's just going to be what does he have left in the tank? He is 26, quote unquote young, but the guy's been through some stuff. And the biggest knock on A.J. Dillon is I never saw him use his size to his advantage.
Right,
it was like he was dancing, playing upright. I don't know if him going through a major injury is going to help fix those biggest glaring things that I thought he lacked.
Yeah.
For sure. And it's also up to Dillon. I mean, does he want to leave? Does he want to leave Northern Green Bay if that's what he loves? If his family's there, thinking like Matt Stafford, did he really want to leave LA? No, he just wanted to figure out what kind of money he could get and go.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
Well, I'll tell you who doesn't look like Tarzan and play like Jane is our boy J Love, man. He's out there putting that work in. Everybody commenting. He put this on his IG. I guess it was yesterday. Look at the footwork. Knees looking good, boys. Groin's looking good. That sounded bad. He looks healthy is what I'm saying here, okay? That's what I'm saying. But what do you guys think here, man? Out there putting in that work.
This is Armed and Dangerous there he's working with. Yeah. I think it's great, man, because let's be honest, he had to adjust his entire mechanic approach to finish that season last year. He was compensating for multiple injuries by the time it was all over with. So it's good to see him kind of getting back to where he's comfortable and where he's at with his mechanics. And again, most guys are on yachts right now. kicking it at the beach, hanging with the ladies or whatever. J Money is about to get married, right? And he's putting in his work right now in the off season, and it's good to see this, man.
I said his groin's looking good. Coach Lynn said, "Pause." Appreciate that, Coach.
He's throwing that thing on a rope, though.
Right there.
J. Cole said he was stopping it too. Oh man, yeah. So I don't know, man. I'm excited to see what Jordan can do this year with him being healthy now, and got to learn to protect himself a little bit. I think, which that was a freak thing against Philly in Week 1. And I'm not one to think that Jalen Carter did anything dirty either. I don't know how you guys feel about that. They didn't look. They're trying to get him on the ground, right? They're crawling at him and they're grabbing at the knee. It gets ugly in there. I'm trying to think the throw where he hit the helmet. There's not much you can do there, right? Where he hit his elbow? He hit
elbow, yeah, funny bone or whatever.
Kind of lucked out on that one too, it not being super serious, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And with the groin, obviously that's a byproduct, like we talk about, Emilio. When you hurt your knee, other parts of your body starts to compensate, right?
The knee would be the only one I'd push back on you with, Clay. Just a little bit of roll. I mean, you gotta. I mean, I'm not saying it was dirty, but you try to maybe throw an elbow at the bottom of the pile, or I fell forward or rolled. I mean, I've seen Jacob does some crazy stuff at the bottom of a pile, so I can only imagine what Mr. Carter can do.
Did they gator rolled his leg, really?
Yeah. It's like me at the Oval Office fighting for that last dollar, man. I'm getting that.
I'm glad you said dollar. I thought you were going to say something else. Lord have mercy.
Here's a guy.
I don't remember that. What I remember is him getting turned sideways and trying to make a last-second throw toward the end of the game, and Jalen Carter reaching up and grabbing him by the knee.
Yeah, and kind of tried to. He was trying to turn roll the bread.
Let's get Emilio full screen here.
Act
it out
right.
for us.
Get it.
Come on, Emilio.
I'm good. I'm
Oh,
all right.
boy.
I got to be careful. Every time I put him on full screen, I'm looking in the background like, oh, God, what's on the wall?
What's on the wall?
It's going to be back there. So I guess I'm in the minority there, man. I didn't think it was really a dirty play, but the reason I bring it up, too, is there was a bunch of people on Twitter talking about it.
But, I mean, if he didn't do it, we probably would have won the Super Bowl last year because they ended up going on to win the Super Bowl. So, theoretically, if he didn't gator roll that in the first game in Brazil, I mean, the field is slippery. A lot of
That's why we load up on the O line, right?
Yeah.
Right.
We build the wall in front of Jordan.
Thank you.
Gator don't play that.
Yeah, Gator don't
Gator
play no
don't play
games.
Play no games.
Greg Rice is asking, where are wide receivers? Well, Greg, if you didn't know, they've been working out together. I believe it's out in Cali, if I'm not mistaken. But like Von Manukin says, Reed, Dobbs, Wicks, they were practicing. They were clipping it up. They looked very excited to get it going together in the offseason. So
there you go. You rebounded really well there, Jacob.
Didn't even smile.
Greg asks in the Patreon group. If you guys want to join our Patreon group, scan the QR code in the upper right or go to patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access. That'll get you access to, if you're a member of one of the 3 tiers, I think the cheapest like $2 or $3. You get access to all of our chats. We're going to have a mock draft contest. It's going to be a lot of fun. We do giveaways on a regular basis. Matter of fact, this Saturday, if Tim reminds me, we're going to be giving away an autographed Lucas Van Ness jersey, okay? So just like the one back here behind me, it's the home green Beckett style autograph, certificate of authenticity, all that good stuff. And basically what it is everybody who's a member of one of those 3 tiers, we throw their name on the Larry McCarron pinky wheel, spin that sucker, and whoever it lands on, you get a free jersey. So we're going to be doing that. We got some awesome autograph cards we're going to be giving away soon. We got other jerseys. I know we've got a Robert Brooks away white jersey that's signed, just a way for us to give back to those who are giving to us. So Greg S. in the questions for the show said, I'd be interested to see if Jacobs or Nixon help recruit Hobbs. He seems versatile, which can be helpful with injuries. I agree paying $17 million for Jenkins playing center is manageable, but next year his cap hits $25 million. How much money could the Pack save by restructuring his deal? Get your all's take on what he said so far here, and I'm not gonna put the contract on screen, but I will give the information on how we can save money there with Mr. Elgton Jenkins' contract next year.
I'd be willing to bet a lot of money that Jacobs and or Nixon definitely played a role.
Probably Rich Bisaccia too, right?
Probably Coach Bisaccia too as well. Yeah, I would bet that for sure. As far as the restructuring Big E, I don't know.
I got it right here.
You got it? Okay, cool.
Yeah, so here's how his contract sits next year. He's got a cap hit of $17.6 million in 2025 with a dead cap of 9.6. Okay, so obviously you would, if you cut him right now, you would free up cap, but you'd be eating a 9.6 million dead cap. In 2026, his cap hit jumps to 24.8, which is what Greg is talking about here. The dead cap attached is only 4.8. Not that we want to move on. If you wanted to try to restructure and save money, it's structured in a way next year that his base salary is 18.5 million, and he's got a roster bonus of 1 million. What you could do is take that 18.5 and say, let me give you an example. Let's say the number is 24 million. Let's say you want to get it down to 20 million, right? We want to shave 4 million off of that. Ask EA, would you take a $4 million pay cut and we'll convert 7 million of your salary to guaranteed money, write you a check right now, top thing. And if you do that, if he says hell no, here's the other thing that you can do to reduce the cap number. You can also tack on 2 or 3 voidable years, convert his entire base salary to signing bonus, and spread that out over the duration of the rest of those 3 voidable years. Meaning, if you took, let's say you took 15 of the 18 million and you tacked on 3 voidable years, you could put 555 on that, and that would lower his cap number to probably roughly, I don't know, probably bring it down to somewhere around 10 million next year, something like that. That's just a rough estimate, a rough, sketch of how you could do that. Here's the thing, too, man. Centers play a long time. He's probably looking at like he wants another contract. So that's something else you could do. You give him a decent amount of guaranteed money, and you could lower that cap number significantly if you extended him for 2 or 3 years, And you could do it in a way that Green Bay always does it, front load it. That way, if for some reason he hits the wall this year or next year, then you can just get out of the contract out of the 3rd year, and you're off and running with your new plan at center. That makes sense?
Yep.
That's how I would approach it anyway. But great question there, Greg. And you're right, man. That cap number does start to climb next year for sure. Nebraska Rev said, why is the Nate Hobbs signing a better signing if they move him to outside corner? Many people seem upset with the deal until they mention, oh, yeah, they plan on playing Hobbs out on the outside. Jefferson, Omar, Odunze all torched us over the middle last year. I feel our second greatest need was slot corner. Tim, I think, would agree with you there. I'm not a fan of Bullard's pass defense, yet people act as though playing Hobbs in the slot makes him a bad deal. We all hated Keyshawn when he played in the slot, but we like him on the outside. Valentine seems a viable option on the outside. Can you explain? I can't explain how other people feel, Rev. Maybe you guys can try. I'm not going to give it a shot. But I will say this, that everything you said there makes a lot of sense. If Keyshawn does come out and he just dominates camp, and Tim will let us know if he is, I promise you that. He'll be there all summer long. If he comes out and dominates and we force Bullard to the bench and Hobbs goes to the slot, I don't have a problem with that. Put the best 11 out there. And if Carrington takes over at corner, if Jai is not here, I would have no qualms with that, none at all. And here's the thing. We may end up drafting a corner early. Like if you take a Jahdae Barron, that may be your dude playing outside, right? That could happen. That could very well happen.
Maybe Bullard's your guy on running downs, I like him in the slot, playing aggressive in the box, yeah, near the line of scrimmage. Yep. Mm-hmm. And then coverage situations you go with Hobbs or something. There's going to be so much unfolding though between where we're at right now and where we'll be by the end of August. So it will be fun to watch though, and I agree with Rev here that slot has been a concern, and I think we need at the very least we need depth, and at the very best we need a straight up slot. I hate to say slot corner, just a slot player. I don't care if it's a safety who's better suited in the slot or a corner that is strictly a slot corner. And I agree. We I don't know if we hated Keyshawn in the slot, but we certainly didn't love him as much as we loved him out on the boundary. And I think that was because we were pretty pleasantly surprised at how Keyshawn played on the outside. So either way, I think this is a good problem to have, having depth in the cornerback room. So
yeah, no, absolutely, Tim. And at the same point, yeah, those deep ends were torching us. I mean, Miami was cutting us up with that, but the fact is, I mean, were we getting enough pass rush? What was the front four getting there? Were we able to force their hand? I think that, having both in tandem, working together is going to be key this year. And why not? I mean, sometimes you have to pay to bring in some competition. Sometimes you get lucky and draft some competition, and you get 4 years with them cheap. If Bullard tears it up, perfect. If he doesn't, he was the cheap one, and he can go on and move. If Hobb tears it up, perfect. If not, we can get out of it, eat a little dead cap, and keep it moving. I mean, that's just the name of the game.
Greg Rice asks here in the chat, how much did Chicago pay per year for their center? That number, as it sits right now, we don't have all the details, but what's listed is 3 years, $42 million. So it's going to be actually there's $28 million guaranteed, an average annual salary of $14 million. So to answer your question, comparing that to Elgton Jenkins, which I think is what he's doing there, Elgton's cap hit this year is going to be $17.6 million. Theirs will probably be lower, but on average will be $14 million. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Don't forget, he was the best center available in free agency. Like that's, right. You know what I mean? It's that's the best pick from the bottom of the basket, as you're looking at it, sort of thing.
And I have no hesitation whatsoever saying Elgton Jenkins is a much, much, much better offensive lineman than Drew Dalman.
Right. Yeah.
So,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for the extra $3 million that he's going to be against the cap, if they do just go with the overall average in Chicago there to structure that thing, if they balance it all the way, which they won't, but just theoretically speaking, give me Elgton over Drew Dalman. And you guys know I was all about Drew Dalman.
Yep.
Sign him at center, leave Elgton at guard. That would have been fine with me too, but they went a different route, obviously. And I want Aaron to come out this year and just, absolutely dominate at left guard. That's what I want. I want him to shut everybody up and go, oh, hell, that's what Goody's seen. That's what I can't wait to see. Mm-hmm. So, and I have my worries about it too. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, that was my guy. You didn't hear me mention him one time in free agency. So Jake G126 in the Patreon group said, did a 4-round mock using the PTA draft board. Stick and pick, got Kenneth Grant at 23, Josh Connerly Jr. at 54, Jack Besh at 87, and Demetrius Knight Jr. at 123. Thoughts? I used Pro Football Network mock. Its rankings are quite different than PTA. I will do a 7-round mock for the competition later. Thank you for doing that, Jake. I like it. It looks good to me on the surface. And Demetrius Knight, I know Coach Lynn's big on him. Many of you guys liked him. That wouldn't be a bad pick at backer there, would it?
Yep. And Jack Besh is no Jaden Higgins, but I'll take him. I like Jack Besh.
For 1 round later, right, Tim?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Good stuff, man.
Yeah, Demetrius Knight being 77th on our board. So, hey, I'll take that for the 4th pick. Absolutely. Yeah. Besh being 78th, just behind him, Jack Besh. And then we had, who was the other one? Josh Connerly.
Yep. Josh Connerly's offensive lineman, right? Am I thinking right?
Yep. Let me see where we had him. Connerly was 23rd on our board. So, just 23rd, and then Kenneth Grant was 17th. So, absolutely crushed it. Almost top 75 across the board.
Yeah, and again, he's got access to our draft board, our PTA draft board that we put a ton of time into this year. It's as deep as it's ever been. If you're a member of the Patreon group, you get access to that as well. We get the link in there for that. So, Greg Rice, 7-round mock coming up next here on PTA Live, folks.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited for the mock coming up after free agency. We're gonna have a little bit clear head. Going in there knowing we have a left guard now, and we can. We're still building the wall. There's no doubt in that, but. We can kind of turn our focus elsewhere.
Right. And here's what changes on our needs before free agency. And we're not even done yet. There may be a couple more signings. I had us needing a starting offensive line and 2 backups, a starting wide receiver, a starting 3-tech, a starting corner if Ja's not here, and 2 backup corners along with 2 backup linebackers. After free agency, we can officially mark that starting offensive lineman off. That's a huge need off the board, right? And then with corner, I don't know if you want to call Hobbs if he should replace that starting spot. He's not quite there. I'm going to erase one of the backups just because I still think we need to look for that number 1 dog corner if Ja's not here. If it gets announced Ja restructured, he's coming back, we'll take the starter off, and now we just need a backup corner. So right now the needs, I'm glad you bring that up, Emilio, 2 backup offensive linemen. When I say a starting wide receiver, I'm looking for a deep threat receiver to help stretch the field, right? if Bo Melton isn't that. Bo Melton might be the dude that they throw in that spot too and go, hey, just go run 60 yards, stretch that, take that safety with you type thing. People go, oh, no way, he's faster than Christian Watson, just so you know.
We got breaking news, guys.
Yeah, did you see that, Tim?
Yeah.
Tim sounds depressed.
No, I'm just drinking it all in. Looks like Joey Bosa has reached an agreement. 1-year deal, $12.6 million with the Buffalo Bills.
Bills.
We talked about Bosa showed a little drop off. He's battled some injuries. That's a pretty fair deal, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and he's going to replace Von Miller, obviously. So
12-6.
Bring into the bond.
That's not a bad deal. 12-6 is. I mean, that's
yeah. I would if it was announced the Packers signed Bosa for $12 million, I'd go, oh yeah,
Yeah, I would have been great with that. Yeah.
So yeah, that's how we sit with the needs right now. And again, we'll do mock drafts in the upcoming weeks where we'll use the new needs board there.
Greg Rice said, Joey Bosa.
Not to be confused with Max Crosby.
Yeah, Max Crosby, buddy.
Can we bring in Von Millers, please? That'd be great.
Man.
All right, boys. Anything else? Anything at all? I think we've done good here tonight.
nothing.
We've done enough damage.
No mock?
No,
Get out of here, Tim.
What is this? Chuck Jaggers need a GoFundMe to get Clayton a mock couch.
A couch for you to sleep on when we do mock draft. Don't even bother.
Put it right back here.
Yeah.
You guys know, middle of the show, if we
Get
go
a
over
brown leather, like football kind of looking.
Yeah. As soon as we crack the hour 20 mark, you'll see me pull it into the picture. That's where I'm sleeping at night. Right?
See?
Maybe a little futon, right? Something like that. So, Emilio, you're getting ready to go out of the country, ain't you, man?
I am. Yeah, but I'll
Where
be
you going?
back.
Tell the folks
Get ready to go.
where you going, Emilio.
Going down south. We're
Tell them, Emilio. Don't
we're
hesitate.
heading we're heading to Puerto Rico, so hopefully I can come back.
Nice.
I think it's a coincidence that Tom Holman busts on the scene and all of a sudden Emilio's leaving the country. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I feel like Emilio may have rerouted his bank accounts, got a passport. Hey, let me show us your fingerprints, buddy. What'd you do to him?
no, I'm okay. I don't want to get a scan, AI scan of them. So
Yeah.
I'll play it safe. No, but I'm excited. I'll be back. Be listening.
It's funny, man. Me and Mandy were talking about going to Jerusalem. That's like on my bucket list, right? I want to go to the Holy Land. I was like, it's just, you hear mixed reviews. It's not safe and this and that. Mandy said, you have no problem. You fit right in. Like, they'll be like, oh, yeah, he belongs here. Because I'm like, 13 shades of brown and dark hair, dark eyes. Now, she's blonde, blue eyes. She's gonna get crushed over there. It ain't gonna work. So, Emilio de Guantanamo Bay.
Oh, we're going to give him some.
When are you leaving? When are you leaving, Emilio?
Tomorrow morning.
All right. So you're gonna be out of the loop. You got to go live down there, man.
Yeah, I will. I know. I'll try to go live down there. We'll get you a look at the beaches and all that. See what we got.
Nice.
Watch out for.
Let me know what NFL players you run into hanging out on the beach. They should be getting in extra work,
Yeah, absolutely. I'm hoping to find a couple.
What'd you say, Jake?
Maybe my boy Travis is down there just catching a little bit of rays before the season starts, and we can just.
He needs a break, don't he? Break all that work you did last year. What was you going to say, Jacob? You were going to say something. What were you going to say?
No, I just told him be careful of dinosaurs. I've been watching a lot of Jurassic Park movies lately, and apparently they like finding them islands down there and just letting the dinosaurs go at it, and all of a sudden you're.
I appreciate the heads up. Appreciate the safe from the chat. Appreciate y'all. No, I'm excited. We'll get some pictures. I brought a Packers shirt. I can't bring the sombrero down there, but maybe I'll find one and we'll bring it back up here with us.
Listen, the sombrero's got to make it to the draft. You can't fly with it, right?
I don't think so.
Well, here's what we need to do, man. We need to ship it to Tim because it's got to be in Green Bay for the draft.
I know. I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, and what we'll do is they won't let you in with it, so we'll stand on Arians Hill and throw it over security to you side the gate. So, all right, that's it.
Back in 25, I could throw a cheesehead sombrero over that hill over there.
Oh yeah,
like Uncle Rico.
All right, guys. Appreciate y'all hanging out. This was a lot of fun. We will be back tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central for PTA Live. Any other signings we may or may not have, and the further we get away from this free agency frenzy, we're going to get back into mock drafting and getting ready for the draft season. Boys, how many days we're almost a month away, right? We're about 10, 12 days
40.
I said 40.
Days.
Yeah. Okay.
Gonna be here in a blink.
Tomorrow will be 43 days, boys.
Who was the best Packer to wear 43?
Or you'll check my feed tomorrow. I'll put it out there for you.
Okay.
That's right.
Don't you
What is
worry.
your Twitter handle? There's your Twitter handle at PackerFanMKEGRB. Go give Tim a follow. I'm telling you, man, he's one of the best follows on Twitter.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
While you're at it, hit the like button. What we push?
We got
400
4,
plus.
420 watching right now.
Yeah, you guys.
Listen,
Here's a guy.
Sure. As soon as y'all figure out how bad this show sucks, those numbers will go down. So we're running them through like cattle. Y'all have a good night. Appreciate y'all. And special shout out to Dan Mullen for the super chat. Thank you.
Absolutely.
For that. Jacob, stay out of trouble. Okay.
Never.
All right, that's it. Heard it from a fan, right?
There we go.
All right.
Bye, guys.